I didn't get an answer, but are there more kids on the way?
I'll give you a solid answer.
It's already started.
Okay, you start once you walk in, right?
Music going?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
You're the lucky one. Usually we start before people walk in.
Nice.
Well, I'm Howie Mandel. This is Howie Mandel Does Stuff.
I'm Jacqueline Schultz, his daughter.
And I can't tell you how excited I am about today because I have somebody who I admire, who is a friend that I don't get to see hardly. But not only is he a friend, but he is a comedian. He is a producer. He is an entrepreneur. He is a writer. He is a musician. He is a manager. He is a businessman and an entrepreneur.
He's Mr. Incredible.
Incredible. But that's what you call your company. Nick Cannon, ladies and gentlemen.
I am here. I'm so impressed by your facility and the kingdom that Mandel has built.
I'm an old guy who has a lot of stuff.
He's trying to be like you. I saw your studio. That was crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, this is right there. I don't have like virtual reality in my space. This is pretty awesome. But yeah, I got like stuff like nurseries and stuff.
You have a playroom for your kids.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing. When Nick is not in production, he's in reproduction.
I'm still in that.
I love it.
I'm taking that line. I'm gonna use that way.
It's not even a line. It's just the reality. Truth. Are you done?
I get but see, this is the thing. I don't want to say
that's not a real yeah.
I don't want to say and then like some it's reproductive. It could happen at any time.
Yeah, but is there? I will. First of all, thank you for being here today. Busy. I mentioned all the. You are probably the busiest person in the world as far as business and other things even outside of show business. And I thought, okay, he said he's going to do it, and then something's going to come up and he's going to pull out. And then I thought, Nick Cannon doesn't pull out. Hilarious. You can use that one too.
Thanks. Okay. I've heard that one before.
Okay. But so that's my question. My question is, hey, listen, you're a young single guy who has opportunities.
This is right.
So is there not, and I saw you pull up. We were out in the parking lot today and he pulled up in the most amazing, incredible vehicle that I know somebody sponsored you for Toyota. You got a truck, but then you took their Toyota.
Yeah, I couldn't just drive a regular Toyota, so I had to turn it into the incredible Tundra. So.
It's an incredible Tundra. You have never seen it. I don't know. We'll take a picture of it and we'll put it up if you're watching this on YouTube. Can we take a picture of it?
Of course. Yeah,
so we'll take a picture. Somebody will go out there and take a picture of it and put it up.
Car seats in the back and everything.
Car seat?
Oh, yeah.
There's one seat.
Only, because the booster is from my older kids. But, I
He's got car seats. So he pulls up in this most amazing... I can't even describe it. It's like Mad Max of this millennium, right? And he opens it. It's like the coolest truck you ever saw. It is like a... anyway, you open the door. There's a car seat. There's a booster and a bunny suit.
Yeah.
A bunny suit?
It's Easter. Making my rounds.
Really?
Yeah.
For you?
Of course. I was the Easter Bunny this morning. I'll be the Easter Bunny this afternoon before my flight, and then I just, of course, Sunday. I got it. So there's all the pre-Easter stuff, and then
the après Easter stuff. He's got 12.
Yeah,
he's got 12 visitations.
Got a lot of hopping to do.
We only have 2, and my husband has not become the Easter Bunny for either of them. So he needs to step up his game.
Not only that, and what is the circumference of? Do you have babies on the East Coast too?
My oldest, they travel just as much as I do. They're busier than I am when they're traveling. So, but other than them, everybody, and they're currently they're on the West Coast, so everybody's out here.
So that's good for you.
Yeah. Fun.
But the mileage. So he travels, he does that. So that's it was kind of funny to see. But let me ask you, all kidding aside.
Yes.
No pun intended. Kidding. But do you like? At a certain point, I just know I have 3 kids and 2 grandkids. That's a lot of responsibility. And I know that you take responsibility and you want to be there for them and you want to support them. I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about... So there's got to be a point when you go, I just can't
Have you ever heard me say, I just can't? I'm not a can't guy. And I embrace challenges. I embrace, it's funny because I get why the outside looking in is like, that doesn't make sense. How can one person do all of that? But it's the same thing when people say that about, all of the multiple things that I do in my life anyway. So I was like, I think I'm a man of abundance, and it's just I have so much to give. And even, of course, everything gets challenging, but the fact that I get to see, all of my children in one day and spend time with them each and every day when I'm in town. And even when I'm not in town, I take them with me. And, so it's I love the challenge. I'm at a point in my life where I can dedicate my entire existence to them, even when I'm working. I mean, it's all to benefit my children. So it's to me, I don't see it as an issue because
maybe now it's not an issue. But what I'm saying is, are you dating?
That is an issue. That gets difficult because it's like, I mean, even if I did have the time, because it's all about bandwidth, but even if I did have the so-called space, I feel so guilty being with someone that I was like, I could be spending this time with my kids instead of trying to getting to know this stranger. So it's I haven't met any new people in my life in years.
Is that true?
Yeah.
So you don't, I just think being Nick Cannon and being on the street and being on tour with like Wild and Out, there's nobody that comes into your life that you go, oh my God. I mean, you're a young, healthy man who sees, somebody attractive. You don't want to go out with them.
It's the significance of like, it's the amount of time, because even you can admire someone, but it's like to actually build real rapport, you need time. And that's something that I feel like I don't have, because that's time I should be either focusing on work or focusing on my kids and those. And so like, I'm trying to think the last time I went on a date. It might've been like a year or two ago.
Okay. So even that.
Yeah.
A year or two ago, but you've been.
I got younger children though, right?
Right. But that's what I'm saying. So I'm saying at that point, even at that point, if you should be, I'm using the term lucky enough to consummate the date, to have a happy ending
right.
to your evening, is there any thought to,
I'm always intrigued at what's going through their minds. Like I know what my focus is. I mean, like I wonder, because you never know. That's the other thing that's really scary, because there are a lot of people out here who just see things as, as a superficial opportunity, or like.
Is it a superficial opportunity? Is it? It's a real opportunity for somebody.
No, but I mean that's to me that's a concept of superficiality. Like if I probably shouldn't really be around you if you think it's just a come up to get pregnant by me, like those I try to stay away from. Like I've seen those type of people, and even in jest is like people like, oh, I want to be your next baby mama, but it's like I feel like that's a lot of joking. But if I'm really trying to get to know someone, I would think that we'd be a little bit more evolved.
Because you've also been really open about taking care of your children and the women in their lives and their mothers.
What's mine is theirs.
So I'm curious if now, knowing that, and that's been published, and how much you're giving to them, if more women have come forward like, all right.
Yeah, but it's easy to kind of weed those situations out, or what I'm saying. Like, one, because I'm not looking. So it's like, so even if someone gets my attention, I've probably done the due diligence to know that this person is a high valued individual that really isn't really concerned with monetary gain. And so, I mean, but you never know. Some people slip through the cracks.
Do you ever think about the fact? I think it's you that's been slipping through the cracks.
I was just setting you up, just lobbing it up there for you.
But the other thing is, I heard you on the radio the other day, and you were talking about how you don't have to pay, or you don't consider it, or it isn't
child support.
That's it. And then what somebody wants, they get.
Yeah. Well, even a bigger concept is like, what's mine is theirs. Like my accounts are your accounts, or even the same. I feel like, and again, no offense to anyone who is within the system, but that system is set up by the government to help monitor how you take care of your children. I want to give everything to my children. So like I would give above and beyond and continue to give above and beyond than what the government is like making you give like the bare minimum. Like they know the percentages of like, if you make this, you got to give this. Like it's all yours. Like,
does it bother you though that then the media takes what you said
so
out of
crazy,
context,
right?
and the headlines are all Nick Cannon doesn't pay child support?
If it didn't happen to me every single day, it probably would. If you would have asked me that question 15, 20 years ago, I'd be like, they got it wrong. I'd be on Twitter trying to like refute it. But one, because I have so many platforms that usually are a lot louder than a lot of these other media platforms. And it's every day. Like they're going to take something from this conversation here and it will become, and you guys will put it up and it'll be innocent. You know what I mean? It'll be the dialogue. Somebody would then take that clip and then take something I said and turn it into like flip it on his head and make it seem like I said, like, it's almost like there's these minions out there that want to villainize me, and they find whatever interview and they flip it. And it's actually at this point, it's comical because it's like, all right, I want to see how they're going to take this one and spin it. Because every single day it's, and also I do say a lot of stupid shit. Like a lot of times, like I'll say something and be like, ooh, that came out wrong. But most of the time it's so frequent that even as we talk about this now, there will be something like, when is this going up? Or
in a couple weeks.
Couple weeks?
Yeah.
So I'll probably have done and said so much dumb shit by the time that happens that even this conversation will be like old hat by the time it comes out, because it's like every single day is something else.
But I guess that your lifestyle, which you have, chosen and controlled, is not, I'm using the wrong
typical
term. That's typical is the word.
Yeah.
So I think that, we are in not only a 24-hour news cycle, but a 24-hour information cycle for everybody. Even if you don't watch the news, you're watching Twitter, you're watching every platform.
Yeah.
In order to feed that, people look for things and things that aren't boring and things that are louder and things that
I love it. Don't get me wrong. I'll play whatever position they want me to, because I know, one, at the core, and I think maybe even to answer your question a little bit more sincerely, when you know who you are as a person, and I know my heart's always in a good place, and I know anyone in my personal life knows what's up and can talk to me directly. What they say on social media it doesn't matter. It's not like social media is not a real place. So that stuff never bothers me until it actually infiltrates into my real life.
But here's what the question, and I think that everybody, maybe they're not articulating it, and I certainly am not. The question is this: without the government involved,
right.
I think, as somebody who has been married to the same woman for 43 years, and I think this goes for anybody that has chosen to get married.
I've done it.
Yeah, you've done it too. So they go there with the best intentions.
Right.
And you go there, some people go to church and whatever, to get married, and you do it under God's,
It's a great tradition. It's a great ritual.
But I think that it is sincere in that moment.
100%.
It is sincere, and
100%.
they want to do it. And even in those vows, it's till death do us part.
Yeah.
And then that's
dark.
What?
That's dark.
It's a dark start.
You actually did a bunch of times, didn't you? Didn't you renew your?
Yeah, me and Mariah, because it was so fun.
You renewed like every year.
Yeah, they used to rent out.
Yeah, like 7 weddings.
You had my dream. I'll let you keep going in a second, but you had my dream wedding because you went to Disney.
Yeah, well, we shut down Disneyland, and it was my kid. I was saying it was my kid's second birthday, so we got like the Cinderella like pumpkin ball and
I am
castle.
so
amazing.
jealous.
I know, she tried to
Everybody
have her
hated
wedding.
us. Be like, we screwed up like so many people's Disneyland
Annual
trips.
passes.
Yeah, because we shut it down.
But my point is that even in those moments, you have the best intention. I think you and Mariah are a great example of how it kind of should be. I don't really know what I'm talking about because I'm not in the minutia of it. But on the outside, ultimately things change, dynamics change, humans change, life changes
so much, yeah.
and people go down different paths. But what I do notice, and I don't know that I have the stats, 1 out of 4, it's probably more than that, marriages kind of dissolve into divorce and separation, and probably more than that of whatever relationships. And then even with the best intentions, 2 people get married and they have children. And then what I notice is that regardless of who you were and how you felt about each other, they'll use like children as they'll weaponize it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's custody battles, and there's ugliness, and there's lies, and there's jealousy, and there's that. And I think that is just part of humanity. Yeah. So my question to you is, you have how many? 6 baby mamas? 5?
Yeah. I have 6 mothers.
Yes, you motherfucker. You.
I knew you was going there.
Okay,
I'm robbing you all day.
But what I'm saying is that these are just human beings, just like you.
100%.
And at some point, do you not have a fear that maybe somebody gets angry, life doesn't go right?
Life is always going to throw us challenges. People are always going to get angry, and I just maybe it's my disposition, but I'm not afraid of any discourse, or even I understand this is going to be a challenging journey, but we're all on the same team. And maybe
is this a discussion you have with some of these women? Like, have you had it? There no jealousy?
I think maybe it's from lots of therapy, and just even people are so fascinated with the world, so it's almost like it's the outside looking in.
Right.
So even with everyone in my life, it's like, okay, this is new territory. This is uncharted terrain that. Okay, but we're going to figure it out, because at the end of the day, it's all to do what's best for the children. And we all know, like, this is a real job. This isn't something, that you even no one signed up to.
Right, but I'm saying, like, even when a child is 16 years old, when the child is 16 years old.
I don't know what's going to happen then, because I've never been in that space.
But humanity tells me that one kid is going to look at another kid and go, he bought him a Ferrari. Why don't I?
Hopefully I could buy everybody a Ferrari.
But what if you can't?
That was we gonna
what if
we gonna speak positively, and we gonna just and it's not about finances, and obviously I'm not buying 16-year-olds Ferraris. But that'll probably be the clip that they'll take and say Nick Cannon's gonna only buy.
No, but it's hyperbole.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that hopefully I can continue to provide a lifestyle, and it's set up and for everyone to live at the high quality of life that no one's comparing. Because you do have those conversations to where, like, it's not about what someone else someone else has. It's like, are you happy? And let's figure out how to make you happy.
You sound like the guy that I would go to when somebody isn't happy. But I'm saying you can control your own. And I'm asking about the baby mamas.
Yeah,
like no,
I think they're great. Like that's what if I didn't have such amazing women in my life, it wouldn't work. I'm gonna be honest. Like, if I had people who were vindictive and jealous and angry, and none of them are like that. And I mean, we've been friends for quite some time. So, like, contrary to popular belief, I'm very meticulous with the type of people that I deal with, and I feel like I have a good spirit of discernment to, like, ooh, the exterior may look amazing, but the inside has some work. But when I can tap in and actually find a real bond with someone spiritually, like, we're on the same page, even in the midst of challenges.
That's amazing. Not so much you, them.
Yeah, I all them. Don't get like
what I'm saying is a woman who is carrying your child is okay with another woman carrying another child.
There must be mutual understanding ahead of time of what the relationship is, right?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of it is that. I mean, going into it, and I hate using that term. It is what it is, or what you signed up for. But my life is so out in the public. It's not a secret. It's how I move, how I operate. So when one does meet me, they kind of know, like, oh, I kind of know what we're getting into. But then, based off of every relationship that I have currently, all the mothers of my children, we were all legit. I know it sounds crazy, but we were all like legitimate friends first. And
I know one of them a little bit. She was a Deal or No Deal model.
Yeah.
Lanisha.
And I know her,
very beautiful young lady. I don't really know her. I mean,
I know her for 20 years. You know what I mean? And it's even, I feel like there's certain times where, certain women, get into certain stages in their lives, and they're like, all right, well, we've all dreamed of the picket fences, and I've been engaged like more times than I have baby mamas. Like it's just based off of like that hopeless romantic in us when we're in our late teens and early 20s happens, and then things start to settle, and when you're in your 30s and 40s, like life is different, and it doesn't have to be the picturesque way that it's been painted for traditions. Like you got to do what makes you happy, and when you have friends and individuals like what would make you happy right now in life, and even as someone who has the ability to bring joy and happiness to people's lives, I mean, you know what that's like. You know how that feels, to where it's like being a provider and being a protector.
Kenny, are we ready to Kenny is our producer, does the all the ads. Are we ready? You got to cue me when you're ready. You got to cue me. Is that the cue that you're ready? Like what are you doing? Anyway, Kenny, don't touch the buttons. All right, this is an ad for one of our sponsors, Rocket Money. Rocket Money is like a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. You know how you sign up for something, they say 30 days free, and then you forget you don't cancel it, and then you're just paying. You're just paying. Rocket Money finds it, cancels it. Or if you're overspending on something, it monitors that and lets you know. It's like a personal accountant, all in an app. How amazing is that? It's like having an employee that will save you money. You don't pay for it, it pays for you to have Rocket Money. That's what I love about it. So stop throwing out your money and cancel unwanted subscriptions. You don't have to do that. And manage your expenses the easy way, just by going to rocketmoney.com/Howie. And then I'm telling you, you'll be in shape. You'll be in great shape. That is rocketmoney.com/Howie. rocketmoney.com/Howie. It'll take care of you. Kenny, that's the end of the ad. I want to go back to that. Okay, now it's time for my meet and greet. And when I say meet and greet, it's MEAT, because I'm greeting you with the meat that I love, and that's the Butcher Box experience. Butcher Box is meat that's delivered to you. It's fresh. It's delicious. It's better than I can do myself. Yeah, I can go to a butcher and I can go, give me some of that meat. I don't even know what I'm looking at. I don't know how it's going to taste. I don't know how long it's sitting there. Butcher Box does all that for you. If you get involved with this experience, and I know you will, if for nothing else, listen to this. If you go now, this is the call to action, you will get free chicken thighs for a year and $20 off your first box when you sign up today. Free chicken thighs for a year? How many times have you walked up to somebody and say, if you could have anything, if one wish was granted to you, how many people have said free chicken thighs for a year? Granted. Thank you, Butcher Box. So how do you get that? You just go to, let me explain this to you. That is 3 pounds of bone-in chicken thighs free in every box for a year, plus $20 off your first order when you sign up at butcherbox.com/Howie and use the code Howie. I love my chicken thighs. Claim this deal at butcherbox.com/Howie and use the code Howie.
And you can.
Hey, listen, I love when people say, "What are you most proud of?" I'm most proud of
exactly
my children and my offspring, and I guess, and let's move on to another because everybody talks about this. But
it's fascinating.
This
is really all I talk about.
But it is fascinating. But it's an incredible responsibility.
100%.
And every single, I have 3 and grandchildren, and I feel like responsible beyond.
Do you feel like you, with your 3, because I know you've traveled forever and like just being an entertainer, and did you feel like at any point that you missed out on a childhood?
One of
them. Yeah,
really?
She knows that. Yeah,
one of them.
The youngest one. Yeah, when she was born, when Jackie was born, she came on the road with me, and my wife came on the road with me, and she got pregnant again, and then having 2 babies was a little bit much for Terry, my wife.
Right.
And they stayed more home, but they travel a little bit. And I always travel. Like people always ask me, and then jokingly, but it's actually real. People say, what do you think makes your marriage work? And COVID was really hard for us, was the fact that I was away. I mean, I'm enjoyable when I'm not around. And then with the 3rd, that was just, I'm talking to a guy who has got 12. Yeah. But when we had the 3rd kid, that was a handful.
But he knows you don't travel with 12 kids, right? By the time there were 3 and we were old enough, we had to go to school. We had our home base, and you still had to work.
Right.
So I think.
So I'm guilty.
Yeah. So I feel there's that constant guilt of, no matter, I believe, even, in my own upbringing, no matter how much our parents were there, you want them there more. Like it's. And even as parents, you're like, I want to be in my kids' life more. So as much as it is a constant like focus of mine, it's never going to be enough. And I've come to grips with that, even when sitting in therapy. It's like, look, as long as I'm doing my best and taking each step in this journey, and we're all moving forward, and we're all openly talking about it, and it's all rooted in love, I'm gonna miss, some recitals here and there. I'm not gonna make every, basketball game, but I'm gonna make most of them. I'm gonna be there and really tap in, and really, hopefully, it'll be the quality of the time spent in the experiences. Because what I've learned also, it's like, even especially when you're like these core memories, it really is what we remember when your first day of school, or your dad showing you how to fly a kite for the first time. Like, those are the things that are still stuck in my mind and resonate with me. It's not how many times my dad took me to school.
Your parents were divorced, right?
My parents were teenagers when they had me, so they didn't get married or any of that stuff.
Did your father have children?
Yeah. I'm my dad's oldest and my mom's only. So my dad had, I'm the oldest of 5 with my dad.
Did you feel any resentment toward the other kids?
Not at all. And it's funny because I grew up in an unorthodox situation. To this day, me and my parents have a great relationship.
I know that. Yeah. I know your mom. She was always on the set.
She loves you. Yeah. And then my dad would be out trying to, get on the stage. He's definitely a character, but he's an amazing dude, man. I obviously wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him.
Did you ever feel that you missed something with your dad because he had kids with somebody else? No?
Not at all. Like, it was, we embraced it. It was family. And I mean, even his parents, obviously, because they were teenagers when they had me. So his parents were like my parents as well. So it was like one big happy family. And so like I said, I'm used to unorthodox situations, but even with this one, it's more about I feel like it's rooted in the right stuff. We're doing the best we can. And it's like, all right, well, we're going to see how this journey affects, because then that would be my next question even to you, is like, based off of relationships, it's like, is there resentment? Like, I wish you were there more. I wish you did this, because those are the things.
I think there is. Yeah. I think that, deep inside, everybody has nobody is without issue.
Absolutely.
And just by virtue of who I am and my mental health, and I've talked openly about, my anxiety and depression, and that I'm always guilty of, I always thought that I would grow up, have kids, and teach them about the world. And what I've learned is I grew up, had kids, and I'm being taught about the world.
They teach you about the world.
They teach you because you realize how your actions affect another human being, and how you are very much responsible for how this person, kind of deals with their life.
Yeah, and it's interesting because to your point, like now this is my first time ever having 12-year-olds, and I got a set of them to where now we're having real conversations, and their life is far from normal because the mom's one of the biggest entertainers to ever live, and
right.
And their dad is me, and then so it's like they're so intelligent, they're so in tune, they're so in line with their own values, but we have challenging conversations sometimes, and it's like I kind of,
how do they feel about?
But that's the thing, like even
10 siblings.
They at this point they enjoy it, and they have fun, and they're the oldest, but who knows where that will go. Once 16 hits or once 8. So I'm just trying to pay close attention to it and be as honest. And the thing that they do know is like, hey, dad fucks up. Dad makes mistakes. So I am so open to any of your mistakes. Like whatever you're gonna live life better than I did it. So they look at it like
you're open to their mistakes. I'm telling you right now, she's sitting right here. I mean, we have the best relationship. The highlight of my life is sitting here with my daughter doing this podcast, regardless of everything else I do as far as professionally, having this bond.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, not to scare you, we spent 4 years, I thought I was going to die. I really, and I'm not exaggerating, I thought I was going to die. It was horrible.
Wow.
And our relationship was horrible.
Wow.
And I think that that's just part of the path.
Right.
And it's very easy for me to talk about on this side of it. I probably wouldn't have talked about it in the midst of it and going into it. And I'm just saying there's a good chance with 12, you're going to experience
somebody's going to be very mad at me.
Right.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is if one of these, and I think this is, a gift from God sitting beside me right now, and this is an angel, but in the midst of that, they can disrupt your life.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying that you've rolled a lot of dice, and I hope that you have the energy, the wherewithal, and the foresight to kind of.
Well, everybody's paying attention, so I definitely feel like I'm not gonna be
which
doing it.
Is even more.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
More pressure.
I actually wanted to ask you. I saw your daughter on TikTok.
Yeah.
How do you feel about your kids now on the older ones on social media? They're dancing.
Yeah.
I saw them with their friends with North.
Yeah. It's a little. I mean, it's a world that we weren't a part of, social media in itself, to be a kid and have to grow up with, people commenting on your pictures and your looks and all. So I monitor it from that level, but it and just safety in general. But like I said, to see, it makes me so proud as a father. Even like I remember there was a video that went viral of her brother that he was like, gaming, and people just started asking like rude questions about his just whatever, just trying to be funny, and he literally stopped the game and he was like, I don't speak about my mother's life, and it's very disrespectful for you, and I'm gonna have to step away from this for a moment and end all of this fun because of one ignorant person. Like he just went on this whole, I don't like, that's my son. like it was just the way they handle it is just so like special, and I'm hoping all of them will have that same energy. But like I said, it's things are gonna happen. So as of right now, they've been amazing on social media. They love it. They love making videos. We're all having fun. And again, when you come from a place where you don't really have anything to hide, I think it's a little easier because even if it's low frequency, people throw it at you, and if it don't stick, it's not really hitting nothing.
I just think it's so scary, especially having kids of my own. Like I know you said like you don't care. You see this stuff every day. It doesn't affect you. But as like a young kid, I'm scared for my kids with social media because people are mean.
Yes.
Like they're mean on social media. And for me, I just want to like, even though I can't, shelter my kids. Do you never feel that way?
See, nah, I think there's there's a youthful optimism that I operate in with my children. So we're kind of wide-eyed together, and we get it. I mean, there's people, especially if you go down my Twitter feed, boy, it's wild.
But you're a developed adult. You know that, as somebody who's I'm an advocate for, and I think you are too, an advocate for mental health.
100%.
Mental health should be part of our curriculum. That's what and it isn't.
Yeah.
And that being said, I find social media such a high wire without a net in as far as I'm friends with a lot of people and know and have family members that have like eating disorders. All somebody has to do is saying, "Oh, you look a little heavy today." That could trigger something. And social media has a plethora of that coming at you every given minute.
Yes.
So even though you can teach them, like, don't worry about it, and these are just naysayers, you have to be, that's what you're talking about. You have to be concerned about how this is, how it's taken and what is the effect.
Yeah, I think because we have these conversations daily with my kids, and I am a true believer in, building up one's self-esteem and understanding who you are. It's a very esoteric approach of, know the power that is within you. And so regardless what other people say or even attempt to do to you will never affect you. And when you start, I tell my kids they're superheroes from the time they're 1 or 2 years old. And then that message evolves into, the power of that you control your own reality, you control your own destiny, you control your own mood. And even, as someone who goes to therapy a few times a week, it's still even having to tell myself that, but it's those statements of like,
But those are statements. The truth is that, we all in life, in politics, in religion, look outside to be made happy, to be made to feel worthy. No, but I'm saying
maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't.
No, because you go to therapy. I'm just saying that is the norm.
Right.
The way, the true answer is it's within you.
100%.
You can't look to, you go, why I'm unhappy? You know what he said? You know what they did? You know what they didn't give me?
So imagine someone understanding that at 4.
I think that's what I'm in therapy for, and we're all in therapy for. It's really easy to say, don't worry about what anybody else says.
Well, that's what I said. No one told me that at 4. You know what I mean? People told me in 4 or 5, oh, you could be whatever you want to be.
But you did.
But nobody, and I believed it. But no one told me happiness is within you. How are you feeling today? Give me your happiest moment of the day. Like even when I pick my kids up from school, I'm like, yo, all right, what was the high of today? Let's talk about it. And then how did you share that with others? Who did you help today? Like, I mean, because my parents and grandparents were great with my upbringing, but no one dealt with the inner me. And so
we just don't.
Yeah. So hopefully I have
You get answers when you pick up your kids and you ask them. I don't get any answers when I say, "What's your highlight of your day?" Nothing.
I started doing that at 2 and 3. So, and then I can't take credit for it. I mean, they have some amazing mothers. You should come pick
up my kids.
But I also have a 6-year-old who's going into the 3rd grade and is like reading at like 9th grade level. He's different, but
he can also be bullied for something like that.
He will be, and that's what as a kid who was bullied, and we talk about that. Like we talk even before we get out of the car, dropping them off. It's like, yo, people are gonna say different things, whether it's because of your height, your size, what you have, what your dad drives. Don't let that bother you. And we same thing. Like things do happen, and I remember I was at a one of those like school dance. It was a themed dance, and one of his friends, just out of excitement, walked up to my son and like just kneed him in the nuts. and
I don't like shaking hands either.
No, but it was a real moment for me because his mom reacted like a mom would react and rushed over immediately. I wanted to see how he would handle it. He started. He didn't know what was going on. It was his friend, and his friend was playing. He wasn't. And then he started to cry, and in my mind, like so many emotions are going off. because I want to say, knee that motherfucker back, like swing, dude. But he had the compassion that he didn't want to hurt his friend. He didn't understand why his friend hurt him. And we had literally like a 30-minute conversation about your emotions. Like, it's okay to cry. It's okay. Like, I don't necessarily know if that was bullying because the kid was a little bigger than him, but they were playing. And in that
was it an accident?
No, he meant to knee my son in the nuts.
It was a bad decision.
But
it was a bad choice.
It was, boys will be boys, that type of thing. But I don't think clearly the young man didn't mean to hurt my son, but they were playing and roughhousing, and it went a little too far. So we discussed that in the moment, but even everything, like, as tough as I want my son to be, I also want him to be wise. Like, so the toughness can come. Like, he's a tough kid. He's boxing, martial arts, all of that stuff. But I think the lesson I learned, and even the lesson he learned, is we gonna cry sometimes. Emotions happen, but that doesn't have to end friendships. That doesn't make me less of a boy or a guy. But I needed to go through that because my natural instinct was knee him back, don't cry. But I didn't say any of those things. That I felt it, and then through that journey, I was like, "Oh wow, okay, yeah, cry it out. You're all right. You guys still gonna be friends." And even in that, it was next time, and we made sure it was like, "Hey, I didn't like how you did that. That was a little too far. Next time, if we're roughhousing, could you be, a little bit more conscious and aware?" Like, literally saying those type of words.
And then knee him in the nuts.
Then knee him in the nuts. Yes. Exactly. But that was one of those lessons to where the toxic masculinity in me wanted.
It's not only masculinity. I think that's our society. That's our culture. You get hit, you're supposed to hit back.
Yeah, that's what I wanted him to do. And my son handled it way better than I would have. And I was like, wow. That's awesome.
I hope that all continues. But you as a young kid, this is amazing. I'm working with somebody now who knew you when Nickelodeon came out. When did you start? Like, were you 11 or 12? Or?
Nah, it's funny because people think that I started young. I was pretty much an adult, but I started doing stand-up when I was 11.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So somebody saw you.
Nickelodeon was like 18.
No, but they saw you at 11. They were casting. There's a friend. I'm trying to remember.
You're saying no.
No, but listen to this and tell me if I'm right.
Okay.
You got, and Nickelodeon saw you at around 11 or 12 years old, and then hired you to be the warm-up guy on all that.
Yeah, so
how old were you?
I was 15. So it was
15 as the warm-up man on all that. For those that don't know, and
I looked like I was 11 or 12. So I was really
still
young
a 15-year-old. Even when we do America's Got Talent or any taping of any show that has a live audience, there's usually somebody in their 30s at least.
At least.
In their 30s, that's a stand-up comic that you probably don't know, that is telling the audience, trying to make them laugh, make them clap, keep the energy up while they're setting up cameras.
For like 4 hours.
Yeah, for 4 hours. It's a really tough job on an AGT. It's like 12 hours. Yeah. Apparently, somebody saw this 15-year-old that looked like they were 11 that said, this guy has energy. The audience loves him. And he got hired to do a man's job or a woman's job, an adult's job for their hit show. That was your entree.
Network. And I started doing stuff for the CW, was the WB back then, but it was just like I was like the go-to warm-up guy for like the younger shows that you would see on TV, because I could connect with the audience, and a lot of times even because I became like the youngest staff writer in history by the time I was like 17, because they were like, yo, this kid has a voice. He understands the audience that we're trying to make laugh, because I'm sitting here making them laugh for 4 hours, and like they
off camera.
Yeah, they literally be have to calm the audience down and like, okay, now we got to watch this stuff. Like, what he was doing was way more entertaining than what we came to watch. So I got deals and stuff like that.
You ended up being an executive for the network.
Yeah. I mean, that's the coolest thing. Like, I went from being the warm up to like the chairman of Nickelodeon. So it's like
that's insane.
Yeah. Isn't that insane?
Yeah.
Kenny, is this a new lens? Why would you change the lens in the middle of a show? You think this lens is better? All right. All right. So, have you ever browsed in incognito mode? I want to tell you something. It's not incognito. They know who you are. They know what you're looking at. And the key for me about being on the internet, I'm very private. I'm telling you how private I am. I don't want people to know what I'm clicking on. I don't want people to know what I'm watching. And that's why our sponsor here is one of my favorite. And it's called ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN.com/Howie is how you get it. And if you install that app, then you can just have freedom. Because they collect your information. They can bombard you with advertising. They can use maybe the fact that that they're getting information from you against you. This is total safety. This is like wearing protection. This is like the condom for the internet, and I love it. So if you want to do it, visit expressvpn.com/Howie. And one more time, go to expressvpn.com/Howie to learn more. One more time. So if you really want to go incognito and protect your privacy, secure yourself with the #1 rated VPN, visit expressvpn.com/Howie and get 3 extra months free. That's expressvpn.com/Howie. Go to expressvpn.com/Howie to learn more. I don't like this lens, Kenny. But
youngest television chairman in television history. So went from youngest staff writer to...
How old were you?
I think I was like 27, 28.
But he was the chairman of an entire network and all their programming. And you still do, don't you still do productions for them?
Yeah, but not as much. I mean,
you have an award show?
Deals, and yeah, I created the Halo Awards. We did like 10 years of that. Like I was the head of Teen Nick for 2000. I think it was probably like 2008 to 2018 or something.
Yeah, so he was doing Teen Nick. You know, he went at the Teen Nick moment I remember. Mm-hmm. So we would do, he was hosting AGT, and we would be doing AGT in New York, and we would have to go by coastal, so we would fly back and forth. And Nick, in any given day, is working on 3 projects. I would imagine, we'll talk about maybe what you're going to do today, but this is just a small part of his day. So we are flying back from New York, and Nick says, "Well, I gotta do a Teen Nick project." You had your cameraman; it said Teen Nick on the camera. Yeah. You were on the jet sleeping. There's him, the Teen Nick guy. Do you think this is a good story to tell? I'm looking at Rich. Yeah, I should tell it.
I don't even know where you're going. I'm getting
Heidi.
Oh yeah. I know this story.
You could tell it?
No, you could tell it.
Okay. Heidi Klum was with her boyfriend. Uh-huh. And somebody said, look, this is like, somebody said something about a Mile High Club. Uh-huh. Do you know what a Mile High Club is?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, it's a teachable moment. I thought I was sitting here with my daughter.
Checking with your daughter.
Checking with my daughter. Mile High Club, for those that don't know, but I think most people, except Heidi Klum, knew.
No, it's okay. Let him press pause and then go look up what it is, and then they can come back to the show if they don't know.
It's points. It's mileage.
It is mileage. It's having sex on a plane, which is like a box to be checked by a lot of people. Anyway, we brought it up.
It's a cool club to be
in. So Heidi goes, "What is this Mile High Club?" And they said, "Have you ever had sex on the plane?" She goes, "No, I've never had sex on the plane." And her boyfriend was sleeping at the time. Remember? Right, yeah. She says, "Get up. I want to join this club. I want to join this club." So she woke him up and took him in the bathroom. And I just remember seeing...
Are you allowed to tell this story?
Am I?
We don't know what happened in the bath.
Hang on 1 second.
Call her and ask.
I'm going to ask her if this is okay to tell this story. What?
FaceTime her.
I might, yes. Let me see. Okay. Have you talked to Heidi in a long time?
I Occasionally, there's always like different events and stuff. She's always so.
She goes to every event.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can call her. Let me see if she answers.
You've already told the story at this point. So.
I have?
Yeah, you pretty much told it. Now you're just checking if you need to edit it out.
I'll find out if I need to edit it out. I'll find out.
Do you want to plug this in?
I will. Let me see.
This cord should be on his side.
It's okay.
Screen record the screen.
How do I do that? She might not do FaceTime. We're doing AGT today, so she won't be in makeup yet. But she might answer the phone. Not FaceTime. Let me call her back. That's not FaceTime. Let me see if I can just call her. I want to make sure that I don't get in trouble. Here.
I feel like this story has been told before.
Has it?
Hey, I don't know.
Tell me.
She wouldn't
Did
mind.
I tell it?
No, I think just
on the air?
Or maybe I was like, maybe she told it, or maybe she didn't. I don't know. She's an open book.
Yeah.
She's good. Ask her today when you go
Hello?
to AGT.
Oh.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's
just ask her.
Just ask her.
Okay.
Keep telling it and then ask her.
Yeah.
Your call has been...
Okay, so she's not answering. But it was just funny to me. You would go from like project to project. She goes, I want to join this club. And he goes, really, now? And he woke up. What?
I don't mind the story. It's the voice.
I know that accent is horrible.
That's not my...
It sounds like
You sound like Dracula.
Yeah. You turn Heidi
I want to
Klum
join
into
the
Dracula.
club.
I would like to join the Mile High Club. How do you, I can't do German accents. How do you talk? Can you talk like Heidi?
No, I cannot
Am
talk
I going to get canceled for talking like Heidi? Am I doing something
No,
wrong?
you're
No.
talking like Heidi. She might be pissed at you. I don't think the whole German community is going to be
She's
upset.
beautiful. She sounds beautiful. I love her. I don't mean anything bad. And she has a power over men. He went into the bathroom to join the club, and there was a lot of going on in the bathroom. But all I saw was Nick Cannon sitting beside his guy with this Nick camera. It was just a juxtaposition that you don't.
What is going on here?
Right, what is going on here? So that's. I don't even remember what the question was or
I think
why
we
I'm
just
telling
talk
this.
just because I'm always moving and shaking and getting it done, even in the midst of craziness.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
And even when it's not him, he's doing it for somebody else. We had this great, these three kids on that were singing. I can't remember what the name of the group was, but you signed the girl.
Oh yeah. The name of the group was Pop Life initially, and she was the lead singer. I remember Piers was being mean and was like, we'll put you through, but we're not gonna put your band through. And she was like, no, I'm staying with my guys. And I think they all went all the way.
Weren't they the
third place?
sons of not the girl?
Tony.
Yeah,
were the guys. And then they got to perform. I think in the finale with Stevie Wonder and everything.
Right. And she became who was she?
She became Kaylani.
She's Kaylani.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I don't remember that. That was on HET?
Yeah.
As a group called Pop Life.
Yeah.
Put up Pop Life. You can see Pop Life.
So
on AGT.
Yeah, so I mean, I got a lot of those type of stories too, of just like people of when they started and just being there.
But there are so many things in life that are. This is at Pop Life. You want to play a little? I don't know if we can play a little. So he saw this girl, and you gave her a record deal. Her first record deal was with your company.
Yeah.
And you launched her.
Yeah.
Nick is behind so many things that you don't even know. And that's what. As busy as he is. He's even busier,
That is true. But I love it, man. I mean, like my vocation is my vacation. I wake up each and every day and feel privileged to be able to get another shot at making people
smile. This is Pop Life. This is what he saw. But look at Kaylani when she was just, watch this.
I want to be a billionaire.
Oh, I do remember.
Freaking bad. Buy all of the things I never had. Oh, every time I close my eyes,
I can make some money here. That's what they're saying. All right. Isn't that amazing that he saw her? I mean, she's really talented and it's adorable, but
Yeah.
That's not the Kehlani we know.
That is not the Kehlani we know. But yeah.
But you see it. You have. What are you going to be doing today? Just give me a day in the life of Nick.
I mean, other than being the Easter Bunny, I got to do that a couple of times. But work-wise, I've got a new show that's in production that actually is talking about everything we're talking about now, called Counsel Culture, about therapy. So I got a lot of. I
love that. So
you're gonna be on.
I want to be on it, and so that's about.
I'm doing all of the prep work as for that.
Just tell the audience what that is, because I think it's really cool.
It's something that I feel like is needed. I mean, as men, we don't get a chance to be vulnerable and open. I mean, we've had a great conversation here, and like, it's not about having the answers and having a podcast. I mean, like, this is my opinion. It's more like, no, it's healing, it's helping. So I've created an environment, a safe and brave space for men to be able to talk with professionals about all the things that we do wrong and where, the things that we need to heal from. So, and it's from every subject matter. So, and then in a layman's term, it's like, if you saw what the view is or has been for women, or this is what it could be for men. So it's a space for men to kind of grow and heal and have open dialogue.
Well, I love that. You also have a show coming out with Kevin Hart, a prank show.
A prank show. I come in here, I was like, is this a prank? Like, just because my head's been on swivel for months because Kevin and I have had the biggest prank war, but I'm sitting in front of the true prank king, Mr. Howie Mandel.
I got fooled on April Fool's.
Really?
I don't know if it was your prank, but about you, because I knew you were coming.
I did it with the show. We did the
Durex.
No.
Do you know that?
I
thought that was real.
That, as well as, because I've been pranking people until I got a condom deal for forever. But a month ago we were gonna do it on April Fool's, but I launched the show on E called, I think we said, "Who's having my baby?" And like the whole media went crazy.
I think I saw that.
Everyone, like, people were protesting, like, this is, how dare you, human life is way more significant than a game show, and all of this stuff. And we were like, gotcha, we got a new prank show and y'all fell for it. Thanks for the publicity. But like, literally CNN, like, we got everybody. So that was the first prank on Prank Wars. But the thing that's cool about this prank show, and we're working on that today as well, I got to do a lot of press for that, is it's real friends. It's Kevin and I. It's Little John and Ludacris, and it's a battle. It's like, can my prank be better than yours? And you never know when it's coming. So it's literally this war.
And it's real. He started pranking you when you were doing your talk show. I saw.
Well, I started first. This started with birthdays. And I'm taking a page out of Howie Mandel's book. So like, I have really successful friends and everybody's scared of them and stuff, but I'm not. So I do weird stuff. So
what was the first one you did to him?
First thing, I sent 10,000 balloons to his house one year. And he was like, how the hell am I going to get these? Like, filled his whole house. It was the worst thing. He went online and cursed me out. The next year, I sent the llama to his house. And I was like, it's for it. I was like, save the drama for your llama. And from then, it was on after the llama. And he put my cell phone number on billboards.
On a billboard, I saw that.
The country. It's going on and on and on.
Now it's a legitimate show.
I put my face on his private jet, and it said, Kevin rides the cannon. So we've been doing these like elaborate, over-the-top pranks for years, and then now we turned it into a show and brought other celebrities in.
When can we see it?
It's on now. I mean, April 6th is
It'll be on now? On what channel?
E, Peacock, NBC, all that stuff. But it airs first on E.
Okay. That's the beauty of doing TV now. That used to be so much easier to say, I got a show next Wednesday on NBC. But you go, it's next Wednesday on NBC, then Thursday on Peacock. Yeah. Then it's going to be on Hulu. Yeah. And then it's going to be performed live in Burbank at Ralph's Market.
So we got that we're doing today, a bunch of press for that. And then I have a fitting for another show. And then I have to head to the airport because I'm still on tour. So I'm flying to Philly tonight
to do Wild Out.
No, Future Superstar. It's another show that I created that's pretty much giving just what we saw with Kehlani. I'm taking 10 acts all across the country that are on the verge, and we're documenting the whole thing. So imagine if you got to see Kehlani at the beginning, or Drake, or Rihanna.
But this is a live event?
First tour, yeah. It's Live Nation, VH1, BET, and Vibe Magazine, and myself, and we kind of been going 24 cities. So we have Philly, and New York this
What
week.
kind of venues?
Theaters, like probably like 2,500 seaters, like and
Are they all music acts?
all music acts, and it's really, because these are acts that are, they got emerging songs that are blowing up on TikTok. These people that are, they're known people, but it's like they're at the beginning of their career.
And did you sign them all? Are they on your label?
I didn't sign. I didn't sign them all, Howie. But nah, it's another cool concept.
And
I leave. That flight is tonight, so I got to get all of that stuff done.
I'm tired just listening to your schedule.
What about Wild Out?
Picking up some kids from school and so Wildin' Out, we start that back after we shoot the show that I Need You on in Atlanta in May.
And then doesn't that tour live too?
That tours every summer, so we do about 25 to 30 cities every summer.
And you own that.
It's funny, yes, in a short answer, but I have partnered, through great counsel with Paramount.
He owns everything. So this truck that pulled up, I'll show you. You saw the picture. We put it up. The truck pulls up, and one of the guys that works here goes, "What are those wheels?" And Nick goes, "I don't know. I own that rim company."
Yeah, I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Like, what business aren't you in?
I got to be in the condom business.
I love that not only does he make these the condom business, but you're making yourself customers for whatever it is that you're. That's it.
Exactly.
That's it.
I will always have an audience.
You know what? You are incredible. And you are amazing, and you are like a superhero. I worry about you though.
Yeah,
from time to time,
health issues.
You have big health issues. It's not a laughing matter. He's ended up in ICU and the hospital, and just recently I saw you in the hospital with pneumonia.
Yeah,
you got to take care of yourself.
I do, but see, this is the beauty of it. Since 2012, when I was diagnosed with lupus, my health has been at the forefront of everything that I do because I used to go to the gym to look good. Now I go to the gym to stay alive. And my body instantly lets me know when I'm not doing something right. I'm pretty sure everybody's does, but mine does it in a very heightened way due to my immune system. So I'm always focused on, I have to have a regimen. And, like we all slip up and, eat junk and bullshit every once in a while. But I got like this, literally, I can only put fuel into my body. Otherwise, things are shut down. So, it just keeps, I'm probably healthier now. I'm probably more health conscious now than I've ever been in my life because I know if I don't get it right, it's a setback, it's a flare up, it's, all of this stuff that's flowing so smoothly now, I have to take breaks and stuff. So I try to just stay on top of it.
What about sleep? How much sleep do you get?
I've now become a part of the circadian vibration or the circadian rhythm.
You're looking at me because I said that before.
Yeah. So and it's actually really helpful. It's how we're designed. It really, it's the eternal clock that we all have. It works really well for me with my kids because if I go down when the sun goes down, because that's what it really says is like, and even they build diets off of this and everything. Then probably around 8 o'clock on a good night, I'm back up at 2 a.m. And so that's a solid 6 hours from a person who never slept more than 2 or 3 hours straight. So I've now tripped through meditation.
That's not circadian rhythm though.
Because
the sun doesn't come up though at 2 a.m.
Yes, it does.
No, it does.
Somewhere. And on my planet it does. No, but it's more about going down when the sun goes down.
Okay.
So and then I'm also up when the sun is coming up because the magic hours for me are 2 to 6. I'm on air. Obviously, I have a radio show too, so I'm on air at 6 a.m. So it's the most beautiful. When I tell you, I have never been healthier, stronger, or more focused than I am right now because of this process. Because when I'm up at 2. And that really,
what do you do from 2 to 6?
I'm meditating. I'm praying. I get my workout in. I'm driving. When I leave my house, it's like I got the planet to myself. And it's like there's so much clarity as a person, as you know, who's always bombarded with other people's frequencies and energy. That time from 2 to 6 allows me to be creative. I can do stuff in the studio. I can prepare for the show later on. Again, I know I'm a little crazy, so I wouldn't encourage anybody else to do it. But the fact that I get from 8 to 2, a solid 6 hours of sleep, uninterrupted. And then from the rest of the day, I can function and I'm up doing things before anyone else. I was like, I wish I would have discovered this 20, 30 years ago.
That actually makes sense because you don't get any interruptions. No one else is awake.
No one else is awake.
Or 3 in the morning.
I got the world to myself from 2 to 6.
Wow. Talking to you is always interesting and always uplifting and inspirational. It also makes me feel inept and
it shouldn't.
Not productive.
I mean, Howie Mandel.
I know, but I feel like I should do more. But that's what it's good. It's good to surround yourself with people or talk to people that inspire you to do more than you were going to do before you talk to them. Yeah. So I'm so glad that you dropped by. I'm so glad that you took this minute.
What did you learn? What are you going to do now? Now that you talked to him, what are you doing?
Really what I got out of today is I'm going to bed at 8.
Yeah.
I don't know what time I'm going to wake up, but if I take one thing away, it's good night at 8.
Yeah, okay.
Don't call me at 8:30.
I won't. No more calling you.
No more calling.
Wait to watch the Netflix and all of that stuff later, because that's all we do. When you think about it, from 8 to late at night, we're just scrolling on our phones and watching TV and eating. If you just go to sleep and then when you wake up, you can still do all of that stuff, but don't do it during those hours.
Wow. So you did your radio show this morning. You worked out already.
All that. Took some Easter pictures.
Took Easter pictures.
I've been up literally since 2.
This is amazing.
So this is midday for him.
Yeah.
No, this is evening.
Yeah.
Wow. And just so you know, we're recording this in the morning. I thought this was an early podcast.
Yeah.
You know what's beautiful, and even with traveling, so my 6 hours now will be on the plane. So
I can't sleep well on a plane.
When you've been going since 2 a.m., you can, so it's like as soon as I hit that plane, the plane takes off. And when you've been on a plane with me, I'm out. And then I wake up. And
that's why I wanted to tell you the Heidi story. You were sleeping and I just saw that that teen Nick camera.
The teen Nick Cannon.
All right. And I didn't get an answer, but are there more kids on the way?
I'll give you a solid answer. As of right now, no. Like, I'm good with my dozen. But everyone, because there's no way to answer that question correctly because everyone has a problem with however I answer it. So I'll just say, as of right now, I have 12 and I'm very happy. And, but who knows? I don't know what's in store in the future. But
does it bother you?
But you're not going to abstain from sex.
Sex? No, I tried that.
I know you tried that. So when you have sex, are you at this point practicing birth control?
Yeah, but I'm gonna be honest. I got some super sperm or something because I've practiced birth control and people still got pregnant. So, but
wow,
yeah, I think. But to say that, I mean, I'm not. I don't think I'm trying to be as responsible as I possibly can and learning lessons.
It's hard to be responsible when you have super sperm.
Yeah,
it is. And take care of your sperm, take care of yourself, take care of your family. Nick Cannon, ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you.
That's fun. You're great. You are. Yeah. Yeah.